So I had my first experience with, I would call, the deep Bitcoin community, the crypto community. And the story goes like this is I've been looking for these guys since kind of making the move and launching on DevCon and everything else. And they're very hard to find. And it's kind of like an invite only. So one thing is I had Tao as administrator. Now, I had removed him as an admin of the LinkedIn group. And you have to understand that the ETC guys hate Stephen Tao, right? They consider him a sellout and everything else. I don't know the backstory. I've even heard that he bribed the foundation to actually get the DAO given to him. But his whole kingdom is crumbling, so who cares, right? So I had removed him, but I thought, you know what? Putting Steve and Tao there is actually obfuscates the situation, because really no one knows, okay, is Stephen Tao part of Michael Trout, right? Because anyone who looks at, my LinkedIn group and they look at the administrators, well, sure enough, all of a sudden there's this Reddit post by Prophet Daniel. Great guy, by the way. Ended up talking on Skype and everything else. He's Russian, so obviously it's part of the characteristic that, you really think paranoia and what's going on, and he's trying to figure out who I am and everything. And I'm like, I'm pretty much an open book, dude. But he made this post, and I reposted, and I did this bit.ly that said, Prophet Daniel, and it shows the new admins, which has Cody and everything else, which the moment I discovered the ETC group starting to come out and labeling themselves as ETC, I added them to admins. But what really got their attention was Stephen Tao there. So I get thrown in, and I talk to one of the guys, and what's going on, and in their Slack. So in their Slack, they recommend that. Hold on a second. So I get in the Slack, and there's a lot of drilling, and I'm trying to explain. I said, well, I've been trying to find you guys, and I can show you on our Trello page where my one mandate is find the leadership of ETC. Now, let me explain. There are many factions of ETC. There is no core. There are many individuals. There's the mining group. There is, individuals like Charles, who broke away because of the cartel action, that I call it, right? Because of the special interest control. So there's all these groups, and all of a sudden there's Michael Trout. Who the fuck is Michael Trout, who's making these crazy claims that he helped inspire Ethereum, or Ethereum took his IP, blah, 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 into the mix. So it's like throwing one more thing into the fire. So they admitted they'd been following me and trying to figure out what my agenda, who am I with, and everything else. It was quite the thing. So I was kind of seduced into going into this TeamSpeak. No one wants to talk on Skype. They're all like, they're all basically stealing money. They're not reporting money. They don't want anyone to know who they are. They're making a fortune dealing with the blockchain. It's really kind of a dark and seedy, it's underworld in many respects, and it's just part of the whole crypto, gold rush or oil rush. I mean, this is all new, and a lot of these guys are very hardcore Bitcoin, and you could tell they're very insecure with Bitcoin, because they're very, the moment you say you are against Bitcoin, it's kind of like a bunch of dogs attacking you. And I'm not against Bitcoin. I just see Bitcoin being replaced by Ethereum as Ethereum grows up. And what I've seen is this huge influx of fintech into Ethereum. They have basically taken over the foundation, and the mandate has come down for everyone in fintech. Look at not Bitcoin, but look at Ethereum. Get into Ethereum. The whole smart contracts, the coding, and everything else. It's the next big wave. And unfortunately for Bitcoin, how I see it, they're going to get displaced by it. It may take 10 years, right? Encarta, I mean, even though Encarta was disrupted by Wikipedia by 2004, 4 years after Wikipedia, it didn't take until 2011 for Encarta to go. And there's a lot of money. If you're a Bitcoin guy and offends you, there's a lot of money for you guys to make. But that's where things are headed, right? So, and it all became about attacking me about my IP claim. And I was like, dude, ask yourself, why was, Vitalik Mihal removed as a board member, back when he was. And it was all about, well, you don't have timestamps. How do I know? You didn't just make this up. It's just, and it was on and on and on and just trolling me the entire time. And I think it was kind of like, it reminded me very much, when you join a fraternity and you just get haze and haze and haze, and they're just trying to figure out what sort of guy. And I finally said, guys, this isn't productive. We're not going any place moving for this. I came here because I was invited to come here to talk. I did talk. You recorded it and everything else, and now you're just trolling me. That's how I feel, and I've got lots to do. I'm trying to get this conference, and then just personal tax, and I just said, I thanked one of the guys. It's called Fiverr, one of the lead guys. I really appreciate the advice. I did learn. I was buying Ethereum and then selling Ethereum for Classic. So I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to do Bitcoin. And he brought up some other good points. And there was some nuggets. But, subjecting yourself to verbal abuse and to, what I would call strawman arguments is not something that is nice and something you want to put yourself into. And if you're in a situation like that, the best thing to do is remove yourself from a situation like that. And keep moving forward and basically prove by action. So I saw no value of continuing, even though there were some big players in there, and and obviously one of the guys that is backing me, I think, is in there, and I'm a little upset because I think he's just sitting back and watching me basically get shredded by this Bitcoin community. And there was really no Ethereum guys. It was kind of, they all left. They came in there. Hey, they talked to me, and then they left, right? And left me with the Bitcoin guys to chew me up, like, and spit me out. So this is my story. But it was a very, very interesting. Now, moving forward is in all respect, this community, this clique, in many respects, there's a crypto clique. And I don't say that in any disrespect to if you're in Ethereum, but it is a clique. It's a small network of coders and everything else. Ultimately, this clique is going to get displaced by a much broader community. This is the community that I'm bringing to the blockchain, all right, to Ethereum Classic. It's the community that's going to come to Ethereum through UnXXX events, and ultimately, in my opinion, even though I respect the leadership and those groups that are there, but in the big picture of things, they may have a lot of the money, they may have a lot of the clout, but ultimately it is not their blockchain, right? They may have started it, they may have gotten it going, but it's not their blockchain. And in many respects, they're trying to hold on to that power, and I'm kind of that outsider representing that broader community coming in, right? And I think they feel threatened by that. It's like change. Change is tough for anything, and change is coming, and I'm bringing that change. My name is Mike Trout. So thanks for you guys throwing me on the bus with the Bitcoin. I love you guys. Doesn't change how I feel about you guys. And I hope that you'll come around and see what I'm trying to do is actually good for what you're doing. And I don't have any hidden agenda or anything else. I try to be very open and very truthful with who I am and what I'm doing, and putting it all out there for you to look. Thanks.